Hi guys, welcome back to Spelling and Word Study. My name is Mrs. Rhoades and I'm here to get you started on Unit 7, R-controlled vowels. Please take a second to gather your materials. You'll need this green book open to page 47. Grab some colorful pens, markers, or crayons. Remember, whatever I mark up on my board, you should be marking on your page. If you don't have space here for a key, go ahead and jot it on another sheet of paper. If at any point I'm moving too fast, please pause the video and catch up. All right, so we started the year by talking about short vowels in big words. Last week we started our study of R-controlled vowels. Now I know you guys have been working on R-controlled vowels since first grade. So last week there was a new, I thought it was a little bit trickier pattern that I wanted to draw your attention to, and that was the AR pattern in words like aquarium and caramel. This week we're wrapping up our study of R-controlled vowels, and we're using kind of a kitchen sink approach. I've just dumped all kinds of R-controlled vowels in here. Most of them I think you're very comfortable with. A couple of them might be new. So as we go through the list, just decide for yourself which of these R-controlled patterns are going to require a little more effort and attention on your part. Okay, remember an R-controlled vowel is a vowel that changes its sound because there's an R after it, kind of bossing it around, right? So the vowels here are not going to make the typical short vowel or long vowel sound. In most cases, they'll have a brand new sound. All right, so let's see if you can spot those as we read our list. America, controversy, currency, Europe, formula, herbivore, interfere, introverted, irritate, journalist, merchandise, organize, purposely, quarantine, refurbish, sincerely, terminate, thermostat, versatile, and warranty. Lots of great vocab this week. All right, I want to start, as we always do, by breaking these words into syllables. Remember, there's lots of reasons we do that. First of all, it makes it easier to pronounce the words. Secondly, it makes it easier to spell the words. And third of all, it draws our attention to interesting patterns. So our first word is America, 4 syllables. We're going to slice it after the A, after the R, and after the I. America. Controversy, after the N, controversy. Currency, currency. Europe, after the R. Formula, after the R, after the U. Herbivore, after the R, after the I. Interfere, after the N, after the R. Introverted, after the N, after the O, after the R. Irritate, between the R's and after the I. Journalist, after the R and after the A. Merchandise, after the R, after the N. Organize, after the R, after the A. Purposely, after the R, after the E. Quarantine, after the R, after the N. Refurbish, after the E, after the R. Sincerely, after the N, after the E. Terminate, after the R, after the I. Thermostat, after the R, after the O. Versatile, after the R, after the A. And warranty, after the R, after the N. Okay, over here, red vertical line, equals syllable break. Okay. Next, choose a second color, and we're going to find the stressed syllable in each word. Remember, that's the part of the word that we say a little bit louder, a little bit stronger. So in America, it's our second syllable. Controversy, first. Currency, first. Europe, first. Formula, first. Herbivore, first. Interfere, last syllable. Introverted, first. Irritate, first. Journalist, first. Merchandise, first. Organize, first. Purposely, first. Quarantine, first. Refurbish, second. Sincerely, second. Terminate, first. Thermostat, first. Versatile, first. Warranty, last. Okay, green check equals stressed syllable. All right, there's so many other things we could talk about here. I'm seeing lots of suffixes, like the ly in purposely and in sincerely. I'm seeing some great prefixes like inter in interfere, and the IR and irritate. There's just too many things to talk about though. So we're gonna hold off on those. We're not gonna talk about the schwa, even though you can see it in words like herbivore and America. So you know you're gonna have to pay attention to those tricky spots as you're spelling your words. But I really wanna focus on our R-controlled vowels. So choose another color. And in America, I want you to put a box around the ER. I think that's kind of a tricky one because usually we expect ER to say but in America, it's making more of an air sound, okay? Do we see that anywhere else? I don't think so. Okay, so that's a tricky one to watch. Controversy, nothing tricky there, right? You know ER says Currency, UR, nothing tricky there. Europe. Here's a pattern you probably don't see very often. I can't actually think of any other words other than Europe or European, but here it makes a your sound. There's a Y for some reason. Okay, formula, easy. Herbivore, easy. Interfere, I don't think that's going to be tricky for you guys. That's just a bossy E jumping over the R, making the E say its name. Introverted. IR, that can be a little tricky, I think. You don't usually expect IR to say ear, right? You usually expect it to say in words like sir, but in irritate, it's going to make an ear sound. I don't see that anywhere else. Another pattern that is hopefully reviewed for you is the OUR in journalist. That's going to make an sound. Merchandise, organize, purposely. Here's one more that can be tricky. The AR in quarantine and the AR in warranty. For some reason, when you put an AR after QU or W, it's going to sound like or. So just watch out for that. Okay, where do we leave off? You are, again, here's that bossy E, sincerely, terminate, thermostat, versatile. Okay, so these are the unusual R-controlled patterns that you're going to want to watch for this week. And like I said before, you're also going to want to watch for those schwa syllables. Notice we have two proper nouns on our list this week. We have America and Europe. They start with an uppercase letter because they are the names of specific places. Okay, before we get into the vocab, I do want to talk to you about our root this week, because if you turn to page 50, you're going to learn about a Latin root that means turn. Anytime you see a word that has VERS or VERT, it's going to have something to do with turning, okay? So think about the word reverse. When you put your car in reverse, you're turning it around, right? So we see that root right here in the word controversy. I'm going to put it around the VERS. What is a controversy? It's something that people argue about, right? Should we put more stop signs on our main street? Should we have stricter gun laws, right? Anything that's going to turn people against each other is a controversial issue. It's a controversy. So let's write that. A controversy is something that turns people against each other. Okay, a controversy is something that turns people against each other. You also see that root in the word introverted. Intro means inside, right? So an introverted person tends to be a shy or quiet person because their attention is turned inside, inward, right? So instead of worrying about what everyone else is doing, an introverted person is reflecting on what's going on inside themselves. So for introverted, I'm just going to write quiet, and turned inward. Okay, I hope that makes sense. It describes a type of personality, right? The opposite would be an extroverted person. You probably hang out with both kinds of people. Extroverted friends always want to hang out together. Introverted people prefer to maybe, see you for a little while and then do something quiet on their own. Versatile. If something's versatile, it can be used for many different things. It can be turned into lots of different stuff. So for instance, a hammer is kind of a versatile tool. You can use it to pound things, but then you can turn it around and use it to pry nails out of wood. So if something is versatile, it can turn from one use to another. Okay? So usually versatile is a describing word. We use it to describe tools or things that can be used for many different purposes. Okay, so keep in mind on page 50, you're going to see more words that use that vert or verse root. Okay, and that is a root. All right, before I let you go, let's see if there's any other vocab we need to know. America, that's our country, right? Currency is money. When you go to the store, you can decide which currency you want to use. Do you want to pay with paper bills? Do you want to pay with coins? Do you want to pay with credit card? Those are types of currency that are accepted at the store. Europe is one of the 7 continents, right? Countries like France and Spain and Belgium are parts of Europe. A formula, those are like steps that you follow, right, to make something. An herbivore is a plant eater. See herb in there, right? We know that herbs grow in the ground. So an herbivore likes to eat things that grow in the ground. Interfere means to butt in, to meddle. We talked about introverted. Irritate can mean annoy, right? So a person can irritate you. Also, certain fabrics can irritate your skin, right? They might cause a rash. A journalist is a person who does research and then writes about it, right? They bring you the news. Merchandise is stuff you buy, right? So you go to the store, all the merchandise is on shelves, it's got price tags, it's ready for you to purchase. Organize, I think you know, right? You put things in order. Purposely means you do something on purpose. Quarantine, unfortunately these days we all know what that word means. It means to stay by yourself, right? So if you're sick and you don't want to get other people sick, you have to quarantine for a certain amount of time. To refurbish something means to fix up. Okay, so maybe you buy an old house and you refurbish it. Maybe you buy an old piece of furniture and you decide to sand it down and restain it to make it look new. You're refurbishing it. Sincerely means truly, right? It means you're being genuine and not fake. To terminate something means to end it. Okay, so if you quit your job, you are terminating your employment. You are ending it. Okay, a thermostat, you probably have this hanging on your wall in your house and it controls the temperature. So if your house is really cold, you might need to raise the thermostat. If your house is getting really warm, you might need to lower the thermostat. We talked about versatile. Warranty is something you pay for and it gives you extra protection when you buy something. So if your parents are going to spend a lot of money on a new refrigerator, well, what happens if it breaks down in 2 years? They probably want to spend money for a warranty that will protect them. So if it breaks down anytime in the next 10 years, a repair person will come fix it or give them a new one. So people have warranties on their furniture, on their major appliances, and definitely on their cars as well. So any expensive purchase that you want to protect, you could buy a warranty. All right, lots of information here. You are ready to go. Good luck, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.